From the best-kept secrets in Buckingham Palace to the rumors shaking the foundations of the monarchy, King Charles III's health status has triggered a series of unprecedented events. In this journey, we'll explore how the cancer diagnosis has affected not just his family, but also the stability of the British throne. We'll look at the emotional impact, historical comparisons, and the public's reaction, who watches every move with a mix of anxiety and curiosity. The monarchy is facing its biggest test, and the future depends on decisions that are as delicate as they are inevitable. Number 1. The shocking diagnosis of King Charles III. Buckingham Palace is shrouded in an atmosphere of mystery and concern, where the echoes of devastating news resonate through the halls and corridors. King Charles III, the man who has worn the crown with dignity and a sense of responsibility, has been diagnosed with cancer. But it's not just any cancer. It's serious, and this revelation shakes the foundations of the British monarchy. Earlier this year, the royal family tried to keep the diagnosis a secret. As is usually their custom, privacy regarding health matters has always been part of the monarchy's trademark. However, the situation reached a critical point, where they could no longer hide the truth. Suddenly, the entire United Kingdom is facing a reality. Their king, the symbol of tradition, might be fighting the toughest battle of his life. But the most intriguing part of all this isn't just the diagnosis itself, but how each family member reacts. Prince William, always the stoic son, breaks down a bit as he confesses, "My dad is in serious trouble." This comment, what might have been whispered behind closed doors, has now leaked out, heightening the sense of alarm in the country. The monarchy, once surrounded by splendor and age-old rituals, is now tinged with a vulnerability that few could have foreseen. The grandeur of the palace contrasts with the delicate state of its main occupant. Charles has been seen less at public events, and the uncertainty about his ability to continue with his royal duties is the gossip of the day in every corner of the country. The question on everyone's lips is, will Charles remain king? The cancer diagnosis is not just a personal tragedy, but it has monumental implications for the future of the throne. Rumors of abdication are starting to gain traction, with royal experts speculating on what steps the king might take if his health worsens. Would he be able to step down, or would he fight until the end, like his mother before him? What's interesting is how this moment marks a crucial point in the history of the modern monarchy. Unlike in previous times, the people demand to know more. In the past, the health issues of monarchs were strictly private matters. Today, the era of social media and constant communication, it makes it impossible to keep a secret of this magnitude. Amidst all this, the royal family is facing unprecedented scrutiny. Prince William, who has been trained his whole life for moments like this, is facing not only the possible decline of his father, but also the growing expectation that it will soon be his turn to take the reins. Are you ready for this? Throughout his life, William has shown a fascinating mix of modernity and tradition, and now, more than ever, that balance seems to be put to the test. Number 2. Rumors of King Charles III's abdication. The streets of London, always bustling, have been shaken by a wave of rumors. Conversations in pubs and cafes revolve around one central question: would King Charles III abdicate? For many, this is a completely crazy idea. After all, Charles has waited his whole life to sit on the throne. But with his recent cancer diagnosis, the possibility of the king stepping down from the crown has stopped being just a distant rumor and has become a very real possibility. Since the announcement of his illness, the tabloids have been in a frenzy. Before long, it has stopped being just a distant rumor and has turned into a very real possibility. Since the announcement of his illness, the tabloids have been in a frenzy. Every day, new speculations arise about the king's health, and the media doesn't miss a chance to analyze every one of his moves, looking for any sign of weakness. But Buckingham Palace has kept a tight grip on the official narrative, releasing brief statements that offer little clarity about what's really going on behind the royal doors. Looking for any sign of weakness. But Buckingham Palace has kept a tight grip on the official narrative, releasing brief statements that offer little clarity about what's really going on behind the royal doors. Amid this sea of uncertainty, the shadow of a possible abdication looms over the royal family. Abdication, a word that evokes memories of the constitutional crisis of 1936. When Eduardo Otero renounced the throne for love, it resonates again in the corridors of power. But this time, it's not love that's driving the conversation, but health. Charles, according to some analysts, might choose to step back, leaving the throne in the hands of his son. Prince William, who has been prepared his whole life to take on the role of monarch. The public, divided, contemplates this possibility with mixed emotions. Some believe that Charles should stay in his position, arguing that the monarchy has faced health crises before. Others believe that abdicating would be the most honorable thing to do, allowing the crown to pass to a new generation, before the illness completely consumes the king's ability to fulfill his duties. The most interesting thing about it all is that abdication isn't such a simple matter. While the king has the power to make this decision, there are a series of constitutional procedures that must be followed. The process would begin with a formal statement from the king, announcing his intention to abdicate. This declaration would have to be accepted by Parliament. This would involve a series of debates and the eventual approval of an abdication bill. Only then could the throne pass to William. In the midst of this situation, Prince William has kept a low profile, taking on more and more responsibilities while his father recovers. For many, this is a sign that the prince is already being groomed to take on the role of king. And even though William has proven to be a capable leader, balancing tradition and modernity, the weight of the throne is a challenge that few could fully understand. Number 3, the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II and the health of the monarchy. With King Charles III's illness, it's impossible not to look back and remember the legacy of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. The figure of Isabel has been a constant in the lives of the British for over 70 years. And her reign has been a great honor. Despite her own health issues, she was an example of strength and dedication. The Queen faced numerous crises, both personal and political, but she always maintained a public image of unwavering commitment to her duty. Although Queen Elizabeth never publicly confirmed the rumors about her supposed battle with bone cancer, her determination to carry on until the end of her life was a testament to her stoic character. In her final years, the monarch continued with her duties despite her advanced age and fragile health. This attitude of resilience in the face of adversity reflects how the royal family has historically dealt with health issues. King Charles has inherited this same responsibility, but in his case, the cancer diagnosis has raised a series of questions about how the monarchy should handle health issues in the 21st century. While Queen Elizabeth chose to keep most of her health issues private in the modern era, transparency is an almost inevitable requirement. Citizens no longer accept the secrecy that was once the norm in royalty. In the minds of many, the contrast between Queen Elizabeth and her son Charles is clear. While she was seen as the embodiment of stability, Charles has faced a path filled with controversies and personal challenges. Now, with his battle against cancer, the king faces the tough task of living up to his mother's expectations, as he deals with an illness that could significantly shorten his reign. Over the years, the health of members of the royal family, it's been a sensitive subject. From George VI's struggles with lung cancer to the Queen Mother's secret operations, the royals have maintained a veil of privacy around their medical problems. But in a world where the media documents everything, from diagnoses to hospitalizations, it's almost impossible for these matters to stay hidden for long. Kate Middleton's personal battle. If there's one figure in the British royal family who has captured the public's hearts and handled the pressures of royal life with grace, it's Kate Middleton. That's Kate Middleton. But even the most admired duchesses have their own personal challenges. And Kate is no exception. Behind her radiant smile and impeccable style, the Duchess has been fighting a health battle. It has been a shocking revelation for all those who see her as a source of strength. It all started with a routine abdominal surgery, or at least, that's what was initially thought. However, during the procedure, the doctors discovered something unexpected: the need for preventive chemotherapy to eliminate possible cancerous cells. The news was a shock not just for Kate, but for all of the UK. For such a beloved figure, the diagnosis raised serious questions about her well-being and the future of her duties as a member of the royal family. What followed was a series of treatments that Kate faced with the same grace and dignity that have characterized her for years. Despite the preventative nature of chemotherapy, the word cancer is enough to scare anyone. And the decision to undergo such treatment was a reminder that even royals are not exempt from serious health problems that affect millions of people around the world. During this time, Kate continued to fulfill her royal duties. The public appearances did not cease, although some began to notice that the Duchess looked thinner and more tired at certain events. But, as always, Kate maintained a calm facade, demonstrating a strength that many admired. However, those closest to her knew she was going through a tough time, both physically and emotionally. William's support has been crucial throughout this process. For the prince, watching his wife go through such intense treatment while he himself is facing his father's illness has been a double blow. But as a couple, they have proven to be a strong unit, and their relationship, which has always been praised, has grown even stronger in the wake of these adversities. But as a couple, they have proven to be a solid unit, and their relationship has always been praised. Has grown even stronger in the wake of these adversities. The most remarkable thing about Kate's situation is how she has handled the media attention. As the media rushed to cover every detail of her health, Kate managed to strike a balance between her privacy and her public role. By choosing to speak openly about preventive chemotherapy, the Duchess sent a powerful message about the importance of early detection and preventive health. Something that resonated deeply with the British public. The impact of her personal battle has been felt not only in her family circle but also in the numerous charities she supports. Kate has always been an advocate for mental health and well-being, and her own experience with chemotherapy has added a new dimension to her work. She has used her platform to raise awareness about the importance of taking care of both physical and mental health, and her commitment to charitable causes. A new dimension to her work. She has used her platform to raise awareness about the importance of taking care of both physical and mental health, and her commitment to charitable causes has become even more relevant. It has become even more relevant. Number 5. The emotional crisis in the royal family. Meanwhile, the British are watching with concern the health issues of King Charles III. There's a much more intimate and human reality unfolding behind the doors of Buckingham Palace. An emotional crisis within the royal family. The king's cancer diagnosis has deeply affected all family members, and it's not just a state issue. What happens in private reveals the tensions and fears of a family that, despite its public facade, is just as vulnerable as any other. Prince William and Prince Harry, although they've been distant in recent years, seem to have come closer due to the seriousness of the situation. The relationship between the two has been tense. But in light of the possible loss of their father, they have been forced to reflect on their brotherly connection. For Guillermo, who has always maintained an image of responsibility and leadership, Carlos' illness is a reminder of the fragility of life. His role as heir is unavoidable. But now he also has to take on the role of son, worried about his father's well-being. King Charles himself, in his isolation, is struggling, not only with the physical pain of cancer but also with the emotional weight of what could be the end of his reign. For a man who has waited so long to be king, the illness comes as a cruel twist of fate. Not only with the physical pain of cancer but also with the emotional weight of what could be the end of his reign. For a man who has waited so long to be king, illness comes as a cruel twist of fate. Charles, who has spent decades preparing for this moment, now finds himself facing the possibility that his reign may be shorter than he imagined. This thought, of course, deeply affects his mood and creates an emotional pressure that few could bear. But the situation is even more complicated when we consider Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge. Kate has been the emotional pillar of the royal family for years, especially for William. However, she herself has been dealing with serious health issues. After an abdominal surgery, doctors recommended preventive chemotherapy, which surprised and scared the British public. Kate, who has always been admired for her elegance and strength, is now facing a battle of her own. While supporting her husband and the monarchy during one of its toughest moments, Meghan Markle openly discusses mental health, breaking royal norms. Since Meghan Markle joined the royal family, changes, controversies, and challenges followed. Few anticipated her candid approach to mental health, a topic often stigmatized. Unlike many royals who keep their lives private, Meghan spoke openly about her struggles. This unfiltered approach shocked not only the royal family but also the public. Meghan, unlike many royal family members who have kept their personal lives under a veil of privacy, chose to speak openly about her emotional and psychological struggles. This straightforward and unfiltered approach was not only shocking for the royal family but also for the British and global public. From the very beginning, Meghan was honest about the immense challenges she faced in adapting to royal life. It wasn't just the fact of marrying Prince Harry. It was stepping into an institution with centuries of history, rigid protocols, and media pressure that few could understand. The combination of tabloid pressure and internal tensions within the royal family deeply affected her mental well-being. Meghan has openly confessed that there were times when she felt trapped, without an escape. In a moving interview, she revealed that she reached a point where she had dark thoughts, and most alarmingly, she didn't feel supported by the institution. For anyone familiar with the royal family, this statement was a bombshell. Meghan was publicly exposing a topic that had been buried for a long time. The emotional well-being of those in the public eye, Meghan's bravery. By talking about her mental health, she sparked a chain reaction. Suddenly, the focus shifted from the traditional scandals surrounding the monarchy to a deeper conversation about the emotional well-being of the royal family members. While some media outlets tried to discredit her revelations, others praised her for bringing such an important issue into focus. Meghan was destigmatizing a topic that had long been taboo, not just in the royal family, but in society as a whole. Prince Harry, for his part, was a crucial support for Meghan during this time. He had previously spoken about his own emotional struggles after the death of his mother, Princess Diana. By joining Meghan in this conversation, they both became key advocates for mental health, launching initiatives and collaborating with charities to raise awareness about the importance of taking care of both the mind and the body. The fact that Meghan spoke about her experiences while still being part of the royal family is what really shook the foundations of the monarchy. Traditionally, the royal family has been seen as unshakable, almost superhuman, in their ability to endure hardships without complaint. Meghan, by talking about her vulnerability, broke with that tradition and presented a new face of the royal family, one that was human, imperfect, and willing to admit its struggles. But the impact of Meghan's revelations went far beyond the headlines. It sparked a global conversation about the emotional toll of public life, especially for women, and opened up the dialogue about the importance of emotional support, not just in the royal family, but in any institution that demands personal sacrifices. Number 8. The transition of power to Prince William. Prince William has been the heir to the throne since his birth. And although the preparation for his future role as king has been ongoing and carefully planned, the recent health issues of King Charles III have unexpectedly accelerated that transition. While William has always been in the public eye as the future of the monarchy, the current circumstances are pushing him to take on more responsibilities and prepare for a role that could come much sooner than he expected. What makes William's figure fascinating is his ability to balance tradition with modernity. Over the years, he has proven to be a thoughtful leader, capable of representing the historical values of the monarchy, but also to adapt to the social and cultural changes of the 21st century. His education, both academic and practical, has been rigorous. He attended prestigious institutions such as Eton College and St. Andrews, where he not only received leadership training, but also met his future wife, Kate Middleton. However, what has really defined William isn't just his academic credentials, but his experiences in the army and his time as an air ambulance pilot. These experiences have not only brought him closer to the reality of life for many Brits, but they have also prepared him to face high-stress situations and make tough decisions. Crucial skills for a future monarch. Now, with the possibility that King Charles might abdicate or step down due to his health, William has started to take on a more prominent role within the royal family. He has been taking on more official engagements, representing his father at key events and preparing himself, both emotionally and politically, for the moment when he finally becomes king. What's most interesting about this process is how William has approached his future role with a modernizing vision. He has shown a particular interest in social issues that resonate with younger generations, like mental well-being, environmental sustainability, and social justice. Together with Kate, they have worked tirelessly to destigmatize conversations about mental health through their initiative. Heads together, and they have also been vocal advocates in the fight against climate change. Despite all this, the question remains, is William really ready for the throne? Over the years, he has shown remarkable maturity and leadership ability. But the magnitude of the role of king is something that few can fully understand until they experience it. The burden of being the head of state, especially in times of uncertainty, is immense. Plus, William will have to tackle the task of balancing the expectations of more traditional Britons, is immense. In addition, William will have to tackle the task of balancing the expectations of more traditional Britons with the demands of a constantly evolving society. One of the biggest challenges William will face is how to keep the monarchy relevant in a world where many people question the need for a royal family. While his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, was seen as an almost untouchable and deeply respected figure, William will have to earn that respect in an era where public scrutiny is more intense than ever. Number 10. The influence of Queen Consort Camilla. As King Charles III battles cancer, Queen Consort Camilla has emerged as a central support figure in the royal family. Camilla was once seen as a controversial figure because of her relationship with Charles, while he was still married to Princess Diana, has managed to change the public narrative about her and establish herself as a key figure within the monarchy. Her influence and role have grown exponentially, and her support for Charles during his health battle has been crucial. Camilla has come a long way since the days when she was demonized by the British press. Her relationship with Charles was under scrutiny and controversy for years. But as time has gone by, she has managed to transform her public image. These days, she is seen as a respected figure and a devoted wife, committed to her duties as queen consort and the charitable causes she has embraced. What makes Camilla such an interesting figure at this stage of the monarchy is her ability to maintain a low but effective profile. While other members of the royal family have been in the media spotlight, Camilla has preferred to work behind the scenes, focusing on issues that matter deeply to her, like advocating for victims of domestic violence and the promotion of literacy. However, with Charles's cancer diagnosis, Camilla has been pushed even more into the spotlight. Her role as the king's wife is not just ceremonial, but she has had to take on many emotional and practical responsibilities. Meanwhile, Charles is facing his illness, she has been his main support, providing him with stability and companionship during these tough times. In many ways, the relationship between Charles and Camilla has strengthened in light of these challenges, showing that, despite the scandals of the past, their bond is strong and enduring. But Camilla's role isn't just limited to being the king's wife. As queen consort, she has a range of responsibilities that include representing the monarchy at official events and working on charitable causes. As Charles's health has been declining, Camilla has taken on more responsibilities. This has shown her ability to handle pressure and meet the demands of royal life. One of the most intriguing aspects of Camilla is how she has managed to navigate the complex media and public landscape. For years, she was seen as the bad woman in the love triangle with Diana and Charles. But, instead of fighting against the press or trying to change the narrative aggressively, Camilla chose a more subtle and discreet approach. Over time, this approach has paid off, as the public's perception of her has changed drastically. These days, Camilla is seen as a key support figure in the royal family. Her marriage to Charles has been strong, and her role as queen consort has been crucial in maintaining stability within the monarchy during these tough times. Additionally, her charitable work has been well received by the public, which has helped improve her image. King Charles's health not only defines his future but also the fate of the monarchy in these changing times.